So we have among us a living legend, Colonel SK Joshi, Shaurya Chakra. He has a reputation for himself and valley, in the Lolab Valley, fighting against militants or beat up Vijay. He is here to share his experiences from the Kargil War, where he was a part of the 18 Garhwal. So, welcome, sir. It's a big honor to have you with us.
Thank you very much, Deepak. Your voice is not very clear. Hello?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
No,
So,
no,
as
now I
I
can hear.
you can hear me, sir. Yeah. So, sir, as I told, sir, it's a privilege to have you with us today, and we will be. I'm sure we'll be very enriched by your thought, by your the experiences which you've had in your vast career. So, welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So, sir, let's begin with before going to Op Vijay, you had a big reputation for yourself. Like you had done wonders in the valley. You eliminated many militants. You had done extremely well as a young captain when you were in Sri Lanka as a part of Operation Pavan. So, sir, just take us back to 1998, where you eliminated hardcore terrorists in the Lolab Valley, which is a very hot area in the Kupwara sector. So, please tell us about that those days, sir. So, I'm taking you 25 years back, but it'll be an honor if you share those.
I know, I know. Okay, I'll start off with, I was part of the advance party. We started from Barakpur.
Mhm.
And when we reached Kupwara, after that, the hunting over between 18 Garhwal and 3 Sikh, it started in Lolab Valley.
Okay.
So, during the daytime, we were, busy taking over weapons, ammunition, then with us, we used to go for Raki also. We used to go to the area which was our responsibility. So during one of the operations, when I chose to, stay in Lolab Valley, that is a place known as Diva. So Diva was it's a village surrounded by valleys all around.
Okay.
So and the militants can fire from top on your post. It was that type of a thing. So one day, early morning when the 3 Sikh and we were staying together. So I told that Sikh JSU, I said, let's go out and just show me this area, village and all those places. So while walking through one of the houses, I found some suspicious movement. So I told that Sikh JSU, I said, ऐसा करते हैं साहब कि we'll not halt here because my sixth sense बहुत काम करती है. Let's go ahead. After say 20-30 hours, we'll turn back and then straight away we'll search this house. And as luck would have it, when we turned back, 2 chaps came out. They were wearing firans and all. And out of those 2 chaps, one had a AK, second one, we don't know. Moment I saw AK, I told the chaps, I said, just lie down, I'll fire. First shot through and through his chest, and his name was Musa.
Okay.
So that was my first kill. Although in the army, once you are part of advance party, irrespective of the killings you do, it goes to the battalion you are taking over from. So that was my first kill. Then subsequently, when the battalion came there, hadn't taken, was finished, and then I told my SCO, Colonel Chakravarti, I said, "Sir, being a 2IC, I do not want to be staying with you and doing nothing there. Let me command a company, and I'll my preference is the place known as Divar." And that is the time I started, getting my sources, intact, giving them rations, telling them, just let me know what time the militants come, what is their routine, how many, militants generally in that area. So, but time and as and when, जैसे जैसे चलता रहा, and I, sources मेरे बनते रहे, and a time came when one lady used to come next to the hand pump. She used to tell me, okay, this is the place I have seen four foreign militants. So and I asked her, but kitna hai walking time? She says, for me it is hardly 20-25 minutes.
Okay.
So from her this thing, self and my JCO, we sat down once, and then we thought, chalo, we'll take this route and let's see. But she says 20-25, since we'll be taking almost 50-60 odd chaps. It may take us maybe an hour plus. And based on the input, we started march around 12 at night, and around 4 in the morning we were generally in that area. Generally in that area, there I saw a water point. So I thought the militants have to be next to a water point only, because without water they can't survive. So I told my JCO, I said, just rest for 5 minutes, then we'll start the search. And moment we were doing, I saw some smoke there. So I immediately told my chaps, I said, just deploy. I have seen smoke here. They have seen us, and they must be just agal bagal mein honge. And it so happened we were just trying to figure out where the militants are. Immediately we were fired upon. Fortunately, there were no casualty. 2 bullets, one got on my chest, second passed through, third on my radio operator. And after that, then we started chasing the militants, and finally we surrounded them in a paddy field. And then that is the time I realized, now how do you enter inside a paddy field? Because there was no movement at all, and it was a huge field. So I said, there's no point wasting ammunition. How much ammunition can you fire unless you know the location of the militants? So, but that is the time one of the militant, he threw a grenade. And see, that is what it struck me. I said, yeah, inhone grenade pheka, why not we also throw grenades? So I was carrying 4 grenades. My operator, since he was injured, मेरे उसके बगल में he had taken over somebody, another Jawan has taken over the radio set. I said, okay, we lobbed 8 grenades in that general area जहाँ से आया हुआ है. And we lobbed 8 grenades, and then waited for 10, 15, 20 minutes. Then there was no movement. Now the problem was now how do we enter the field? So I took one of my chaps. I said, ठीक है, be prepared, ready to spray bullets. You never know, in case they are injured, they will definitely fire on us, and it will be a very, very close range. So that is the time we entered self, and I was telling you, Haldar Balbir Singh, he came with me. नहीं साहब, चलो आप और मैं चलते हैं. Let's see, देखा जाएगा जो होगा. We entered the field, and we saw all 4 grenades were just maybe 10 yards away from them, and all 8 grenades, it burst, and they were in pieces. I mean, splinters all around them, all 4 were dead.
Okay.
Subsequently, then come again, please.
So this was in 98, sir. 98.
This was in 98.
So how do you survive that bullet?
I was wearing a bulletproof jacket. The first impact when I got the bullet, I was thrown. I mean, it was a severe one. The impact was so much, and since we were climbing on, up, so I fell down almost 10 yards. And my company chap said, "Saab to gaya." It's the end of Major Joshi that time. And after, it took me almost 2-3 minutes to come to senses again. I realized, yeah, nothing, कुछ नहीं हुआ है, just वो अटक गया है bullet proof में. And then after that, that normal Fauji, with a गाली वाली दे करके, I said, अब नहीं छोड़ना है. And then after that, तो that was their end. And then I told CO, and then CO told brigade commander told GOC. So GOC was General Puri. After that, after this operation, General Puri with his team came to Divar. Generally, GOC never comes to a company company location. But before that, I told CO, I said, give me enough time so that since GOC is coming, you are coming with their team. I have to, and I'll deploy one more company in the hills on top, so that there is no firing on GOC's vehicle or on your vehicle or on your protection. So that entire day, there were almost 90 odd chaps deployed all around that hills, so that nobody can fire from there. This was one of the operations. After that, 1 kill, 2 kills. We killed an Afghani chap. He was weighing around 120 odd kgs. 120 kgs, around 6'2", 6'3" was his height. And he was carrying a, LMG with him.
Okay.
So we came to know that this chap is staying in a particular house. And moment we surrounded that house, he started running, and within no time, he was shot dead. Shot dead means almost 20-30 bullets pumped in his body. So whenever we used to kill, we never used to, look for in 2 goli marni, 3 marni hai. Empty the entire magazine so that the villagers also come to know that you will not. And then another thing, they were very, very IED blast when 3 Sikh were there. So I used to tell the villagers, I said, firstly, I never used a vehicle there. Whenever I used to go to battalion headquarters, I said, I will not use a vehicle. Everybody will be walking on foot. And the distance between one person to another person will be not less than 7 to 8 yards. So that in case one IED also blast, at least 1 odd or 2 odd shots will go. And the another terror was कि I told the villagers, I said, जिसके घर के पास IED फट गई, you can imagine, I'll not only that house will be demolished, no member of that particular house will survive. Everybody will be shot dead. Let it be women, let it be children, anybody. So that terror was there. कि भैया, I said, any such movement कोई लगाता है, let me know in advance, so that you are also safe and we diffuse that IED. So during my entire tenure, never the post was never attacked. No IEDs were there. And at night, I started another thing. I said, before they attack the post, I used to send 2 to 3 chaps in a nearby, houses, and we used to lay ambush there. And the villagers used to pass these information to the militants. कि भैया ये तो रात में ambush लगा देते हैं. They keep changing the house in and around the post. So never ever, try to attack this particular post because you have seen the state of militants here, the way these Col Joshi जिस तरह से मारता है. So my post was never attacked, and we had number of kills.
Around 21, sir. You had told me that you had around 21.
Yeah.
Just your company.
This is the entire battalion.
Okay. So, sir, now we go to Kargil. When 18 Gadwal was inducted into the war zone, you were at hometown, sir. You were in Bareilly.
I was on annual leave, in fact, that time, and I think I got the message on 22nd of June. And I told my parents, so my parents were worried. Everybody was aware that Kargil war is on. So I said, I got a recall notice, and now I am leaving. So I left and then joined the battalion. Then CO showed me that self and Rajesh Shah objective from 2 kilometers, 0.4700, and Tommy and that saddle part. So there was no enemy movement there. So CO said that the expected strength is maximum. The expected strength on 0.4700 is a section, and that entire compliance could be a platoon. But there was no movement during daytime hours, and you can't see any this thing. You can only see bunkers there. So we saw, on that saddle part also there was no bunker seen. Very, very surprising from that distance. So, as 25th it was shown, and then 28th we started.
Okay.
There are two companies, Self and Rajesh Shah. And since the orders were, initial orders were that both the companies will go together, and then I'll divert towards 0.4700, and Rajesh Shah will divert towards Tommy. So, I mean, you can say my sixth sense, and this thing I told you, I said, this saddle is a very, very obvious approach. Although we can't see weapons there, but it will be in case there is weapon, one odd LMG or UMG, whatever it is, the attack cannot progress. So he said, these are the orders from the brigade and tip side. I said, I'll go from that cutting side. He said, you are not acclimatized, you cannot, and the age is against you. I said, you leave it to me, sir. I'll attack from cutting, and you can convey this message to the brigade commander or to dip commander. And since General Puri, he had come to my location to see all those, so he asked, who is the Delta Company commander? He said, Major Joshi hai koi. He said, kaun sa ye, wo to nahi hai, Lola Bala. He said, haan, Lola Bala. I said, let him go from that direction. So that is how we suffered very, very less casualties. Sumit Roy was my company officer, and he was leading the attack, followed by me. He was with the leading section. I was in the next section. So we captured the very first bunker. The enemy did not know that attack could come from this direction at this particular, inclined 60-65 degrees, and that too at that particular height. Person carrying, four magazines, rifle, water bottle, little bit of, shakkar para, four grenades. You can imagine. So by the time we reached the first bunker, that is the time the enemy, realized no attack is coming from this direction also. Otherwise, it was total focus on Major Rajesh Shah's company. And that is the reason in the initial section attack, we lost 10 chaps because there were two UMGs, deployed there on saddle. What they used to do, they used to come at night, and during daytime they used to tie logo पीछे से अपना rope लगा करके. They had made caves on the other side of the hill. So there they used to they have their rations, their ammunition, their first aid kit, everything. That we came to know once we captured that, and then we realized, then we saw that ropes hanging down. And when we we also tried, and then we saw huge, it was a huge cave. At least in one particular cave, at least 6-7 odd chaps can sleep, and it was full of rations, full of ammunition. They had that much of ammunition that it could, had the battle continued, it could have lasted for at least 3-4 days minimum. So that is how we cleared the first bunker with the RL, and we caught hold of a chap. This Nayak was from 2nd Northern Light Infantry, NLI. And thoda usko darwar dikha karke he showed us the bunkers, and then we cleared all remaining 4 bunkers with RL ammunition. And I said the code word was in case I capture 0.470, code word was Joe. So I gave Joe on the radio set, and then but the next problem was Shah was stuck there. So because that saddle mein se lagatar firing aa rahi thi, although Shah could capture initial 4-5 bunkers with heavy casualties. But when 4 o'clock this thing happened, then CEO said, "Okay, clear saddle." I said, "I can't clear saddle because RL ammunition is finished. I don't have RL ammunition." So he said, "What can you do?" I said, "In case best part is you send RL ammunition." Now sending RL ammunition from the location coming up to my location, it would have taken another 3-4 hours because artillery shelling was going on heavily. So ultimately, the commander wasn't listening in that radio. He said, then he came on the radio set. He said, "Joe, can you fire? Can you take a Bofors direct shoot?" So my first reaction was, "Sir, Bofors shoot I cannot take because I have never seen Bofors in my life. Because to be very frank." So he said, "Are you motor qualified?" I said, "I'm motor qualified. I can take Bofors shoot, but I can take the shoot like a motor." He said, "Okay, you take shoot, and I am going to the Bofors gun, and I'll guide you from there." So from the first shot, I couldn't see the shed. He said, give me some correction. I said, I can't see, but I give you rough correction. Second, third, I think third or fourth round was bang on that saddle. And both UMGs and both those tabs were in pieces. So that is how we cleared saddle.
Okay.
And from other side, Shah also captured, and then subsequently, this was the main basically 0.470 saddle and Tommy. Subsequent ones were very easy because after that, once enemy realized that we have captured these posts, then they started running. So after that, it was a cakewalk. But initially, whatever we suffered casualties were in these 2 points.
So, sir, to give a perspective to the viewers, I'd just like to ask, sir, when you speak about these bunkers, like, what is like how do they make it on those mountains? मतलब क्या use किया जाता है? और एक के मतलब what is the distance between one or मतलब relative distance क्या होता है एक enemy bunkers का उधर?
No, see, there is you can't say a fixed distance between 2 bunkers. Bunkers are sited basically to cover a particular approach.
Okay.
Oh, so once to cover a particular approach means since the approach is coming, one bunker cannot cover the entire approach being a hilly area. So they site the bunkers accordingly so that any approach can be covered based on the number of bunkers. In case the approach can be covered, there is a dead ground in between. Then they site the bunker to cover that dead ground. In case there is another dead ground in between, then they site the third bunker. So that anybody coming towards say 0.4700 or saddle or Tommy, so they site the bunkers that way so that every approach is covered. And since they never expected that the attack could come from cutting, so they never sighted any bunker from that on that side. So that was my advantage.
So, sir,
and these are made up of huge boulders, huge boulders, and it is not 1 month, 2 months preparation. All these bunkers, all these caves, dynamite laga ke wo udaya hoga sab, and it is the preparation must have been more than 6 to 9 months. That is what my guess is. It is not a one-day preparation. So I mean, it was, I will say, the patrolling party thi, they did not do their job well, or maybe whatever it is. It is very difficult to comment now. Whether the patrol went there or not, or it was just Kagarji kar bhai, haan, okay, aage. Because it is not that the militants are crossing over the POK and then coming to the valley. That is very easy. But building so many bunkers and then deploying the troops there, and then making each bunker heavily with ammunition, with and then first aid kit ho gaya inke rations ho gaye, water storage ho gaya, everything. So it is not a joke. It must have taken them 6 to 9 months minimum, maybe a year. So it was a very, very well planned, very well made bunkers. And they were aware, because yahan pe small arms aap kitna hi maar lo, koi farak nahi padega, because only the loopholes were available. You keep on firing, you will be wasting your ammunition. So only alternative was RL ammunition. That was the, and then how much RL ammunition can you carry, and that too at that height. One individual can carry one bomb, and that too with great difficulty.
Sir, for the viewers, I'd like to tell that sir was decorated for gallantry thrice on a single day. Sir, आपको शौर्य चक्र मिला. You got the Sena medal, and you also got a commendation card on the same day. That's in January 2000.
Yeah,
sir,
correct.
You were, you are the senior most, age wise, आप senior most company commander थे पूरे op विजय में. The entire operation, you were.
I was the senior most company commander. There is no doubt in that.
Sir, what was your feeling, because you had dreamt of बचपन से आपका आर्मी में जाने का था. You had excelled at IMA. आपने इतना लंबा करियर.
I'll tell you.
When you got these 3 on that day, what was the...
No, see, if you see my background, my father was in army. He was in education corps, and we are 3 brothers, all 3 in army. Elder one was engaged in education corps. Younger one was in Jackalai. All are retired. So, and my schooling was from Dholpur Military School. So day one say, it is pumped in your brain, you have to join army. Army ke liye tumne ye karna hai, because of this school name is military school. Even the instructors, everybody. So there it's a every session mein they used to give 3-4 motivational lectures starting from class 5th onwards. You can imagine. So by the time, and ours was the last batch, I think, higher secondary wala. I passed on higher secondary in 1975, or maybe 76 was the last batch. So every time, every year, it was a motivational talk given by the Adam officer or by the principal, because that time both Adam officer and principal used to be army officers. Again, education corps, and in between, other officers also used to come to give motivational talks. So from day one, and then uh, uh, after my graduation, then I thought initially I wanted to pursue my, since I was very good in chemistry. So it is again a matter of destiny. When I was doing my MSc, when I did MSc Part 1 in chemistry, when I was pursuing MSc Part 2 in organic chemistry, my father got posted from Bareilly to Danapur, by Bihar Regimental Center. So there, after seeing Patna University का हालचाल, so वहाँ पे पढ़ाई वढ़ाई कम दादागिरी ज्यादा होती थी, तो I said, yeah, there's no point, you cannot have this thing. Then I tried in Lucknow University. There the vacancy was so limited, although I had 78% marks that time, in 78% marks in chemistry. But they said कि already it is hardly there, 1 or 2 odd vacancies, they are all filled. So that is the time I told my father, I said, Dad, ab MSc नहीं करता हूँ मैं. Let me try for CTS. First go, I was through. First go, it was a Allahabad SSB, and in our batch only 3 were selected. उन 3 में से भी एक medical reject हुआ था. We were the only 2. So day one say it was. Then once I joined army, after that once I was commissioned in Jats. So once I was in Lolab Valley. That is the time one Major Shambhu Singh Rathore, he was after me. You are not a infantry, you are an infantry material, लेकिन you join 10 para commando and कुछ नहीं करना है, you are physically so tough, सब हो जाएगा तेरा काम, बस तूने अपने पैरा जंप करनी है. And then I asked my dad flatly refused, said, ना पैरा में नहीं जाएगा, तू पैरा commando में नहीं जाएगा. So that is how, because I was very keen to join para commando. भाई उसने भी मुझे बहुत motivate किया था, यार you are the fit chap, आजा देख, and person like you are required in para commando. So I said, yeah, chalo, theek hai. And since my father said no, so I'll not go ahead.
Yes, something on, Lieutenant Sumit Roy, he was your 2IC, आपके 6 महीने की सर्विस थी उनकी, and you were, very senior, you were like a father-like figure to him. उनके बारे में कुछ आप बता सकते हैं, sir?
Yeah, see, Sumit Roy joined me in Lolab only. Okay. Newly commissioned officer. So during his dining in the, I told CEO, I said, sir, this chap is a youngster, let him come to me, and I'll make him, part of my team, and we'll go for ambushes and jitna bhi hum lagate the. So this chap was really brave, really brave, and he used to go. At times I have sent him independent ambush also. Initially I took him with my, because what we used to do, our idea in an ambush, because villagers, they used to tell, yeah, army jo hai roll down kar rahi hai. So what we used to do, we used to roll down at night, and say 40-60 chaps are rolling down from hill and down, coming back to village and then back to the post. Out of those 40-50, 10 odd chaps used to stay behind, so that the villagers don't come to them, because they can't count the figures. So those 10 chaps, उसमें मैं हमेशा होता था, so उसमें we used to lay ambush, and that too till last light, because they used to come to the village at last light only. So उसमें we got one success one day. The 2 militants were injured. We could see rucksack, and we could see got 2 magazines also, 1 odd grenade also, 1 rifle also, and it was about last light only. So we knew कि इनको लग गई है, गोली लग गई है. But now searching at night is very, very dicey, because you never know. वहाँ पे एक तो there is nothing, and then suppose you are searching in झाड़ियों के बीच में जा रहे हैं, जंगल के बीच में जा रहे हैं. I said we'll have the search in the morning. So Sumit Roy was also part of that operation, in fact. So that is how I knew that this chap is brave, and he required a little bit of guidance. And वो initially जोश बहुत होता है, नहीं sir, you stay put, I'll handle this situation, ये वो, नहीं sir, चलते हैं, देख के आते हैं, देखें साले कहाँ मरे हुए हैं ये. I said no, it will be very, very dicey. In case we go at night, suppose वो injured होंगे, So it will be, वो तो खैर subsequently मर ही जाएंगे, but moment they fire, we will have unnecessarily casualties. There's no point, killing 2 militants and you have 10 casualties on your side. It is better to search in the daytime so that you are vigilant, you are aware, and you can take every step very carefully. And after that, he was part of Kargil. So Kargil mein, he said, I'll lead the section. And आप उसके पीछे वाले में आ जा रहे हैं. I said, ठीक है. So being a youngster, there's no comparison between he and my physical fitness. So I told him, I said, don't go as per your pace. Think of my age also. We'll go, we will climb, don't worry. But slowly, 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 once you spot a bunker, we will then clear it one by one. And in fact, he was the one who spotted the first bunker. He showed me that, sir, that is the bunker. Then this Haldar Balbir said, "Sir, chinta mat karo, side mein ho jao." First arrow shot from 20, 30 yards, and it was bang on. Within no, there were only two chaps and two their rifles, and then subsequently one by one we cleared. And after that, what happened was because of the arty shelling, Sumit Roy got very severely injured. And by the time, we took him down, and in fact, he died en route only. He could not make it to the hospital.
Sir, you have told me once during a conversation that the grenade hota hai, hand grenade, you could throw it at a distance of 45, 50 yards, which is very, very, very tough. मतलब impossible के बराबर है. So how did you practice that over your career, और कैसे आपने उस पे expertise महारत हासिल की सर उसमें?
No, कोई महारत हासिल नहीं की. I'll tell you, during our school days, we used to have, when we were in class 5th, 6th, 7th, there used to be a throw ball competition. It used to be a cricket ball, and in my class, like in one class, even seniors, one class senior to me could not throw that ball that much distance which I could throw. So from there on, our physical instructor, he said, "Nee, you work hard a little bit, you start doing a little bit of gym, and then you start, throwing shot put and all." So by the time I reached class 10th, there was nowhere near me. Nobody could throw that much shot put. And since my father was posted there as an Adam officer, so मैंने डैड से कहा, मैं डैड एक शॉट पुट इशू करा दो. 3 months में मैंने क्या करना है, 2 months का जो वेकेशन होता है, I'll keep practicing this. I'm studying also. I'll study also. And then keep practicing this also. So वो 2 महीने में अपना शॉट पुट ही फेंकता रहा मैं. And by the time the competition came, at least my very first throw was almost 3 feet ahead of the remaining competitors. So that is the time everybody said कि यार, since I got height and par थी, सब कुछ था. So once I joined 5 yard, there were so many grenades to be fired in that field firing range. So that is the time I said, yeah, why? Because it is basically, there are 2 type of fuses in hand grenade. In a grenade, sorry, not hand grenade. One is a hand grenade and one is a rifle grenade. In a hand grenade, the fuse is 4 seconds. And in a rifle grenade, the fuse is 7 seconds. So 4 seconds means once you throw a grenade, generally average person can throw up to 25 yards. So by the time a person throws a grenade of 25 yards, it falls and then it gets busted. So एक दिन दिमाग में ऐसी आया, I said, यार, why not throw the grenade slightly on this thing higher side? So first throw was 35 yards, तब भी वो नीचे गिरा, तब फटा. And subsequently 6, 7 throw, I said, यार, थोड़ा और आगे फेंकता हूँ. So even then I tried, why not have it, mid-air blast of a grenade. So that is the time I got successful. So I could throw 45 to even my best throw was 50 yards. So that was one of, I thought, why not? It can be used against the enemy. Why not throw a grenade? In case it can burst on top of the enemy, in case they are on ground, it will be more lethal. So that is how this thing came in my mind.
Now, what would you like to tell the youngsters out here? It has been 24 years Kargil हुए, और when entire generation has grown up. So what is the message or what is the teaching you would like to give the youth of the nation currently, sir?
See, the what I want to tell the youth, that in case you have that, a determination, that jazba, that you want to do something for your country, then only join army. Otherwise, it is not for, that nahi yaar jana hai wahan pe, we are getting all those perks and privileges. Pay is also very good nowadays, medical facilities, all those, But in case the actual soldier is, in case you want to join army, join infantry. And in infantry also, in case, which I could not do. Otherwise, had my father allowed, I would have joined para commando definitely. So have that in mind. And once you are doing that battle inoculation during your training, you are crawling in the trenches. On top of that, there's a barbed wire, and on top of that, the star, they keep firing LNGs and from INSAS or AKs and all, just to give you a feeling that in actual battle also this will never happen. ये नहीं कि आपके सर के ऊपर से ही गोलियां निकलेंगी. It will be left, right, and center. It is just to give you a feel that in a battlefield how it happens, just to आपके दिमाग से वो डर दूर करना. So take that in a positive way, and unless you face live bullets, you will not come to know कि actual होता क्या है. So one has to uh, maybe near future में कभी कोई war हुआ with Pakistan, or once we take POK, I believe अगर मोदी रहा तो मुमकिन है. And in case we take POK, then there will be definitely a war. And any youngster who is really that जोश वाला है must go cross over POK, and then you will come to know actual life क्या होती है. And then that time, don't be afraid. See, एक ना एक दिन तो जाना ही है ऊपर. Might as well do something for the country, and then at least people will remember you. Hello, can't hear you, Deepak.
हाँ सर, हाँ सर, हाँ सर, that was my
Yeah.
mistake. मतलब बहुत अच्छा लगा सर आपसे आज बातें करके, एंड आई एम श्योर काफी काफी चीजें पता चली होगी ऑप विजय के बारे में, वैली में कैसे ऑपरेट करते हैं आप लोग, मतलब डे इन डे आउट, और जो अभी भी चल रही होगी, अभी भी कुछ ना कुछ एम्बुश, कुछ ना कुछ पेट्रोल चल रही होगी उधर वैली में. सो वी थैंक यू सो मच सर फॉर गिविंग योर टाइम, गिविंग योर वैल्यूबल टाइम टू अस, एंड वी होप कि फ्यूचर में वी हैव अनदर इंटरेक्शन with you sometime during the next op vijay, या जो भी we have days, August 15th, on Jan 26th. It was a very big pleasure having you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. It's my privilege.
Okay, sir. Jai Hind.
Thank you. Jai Hind.
Jai.